Hi everybody, Mr. Foster here. Hope you had a good first couple days of school, and I'm really looking forward again to having you in class to getting into some really great economics topics and more than anything, work together to get to that finish line as a community of graduation and the next step. So for September 2nd and 3rd, as you can see here, our learning objective is to honestly demonstrate your current knowledge and skills related to literacy and economics so that you can have a kind of baseline for growth in this course. Now, this is something that I take really seriously. My priority as a facilitator of learning, aka teacher, is to be able to help you to grow academically. So in order to be able to do that, we need to see where you're currently at. So the pre-assessments, the pre-tests that you're going to take today, as long as you try on them, you're going to get 100% credit as a formative grade. So we'll kind of go into that here in just a sec. Please make sure that you're going through the warm-up, and again, you should by now have a notebook dedicated to this class that is just used for economics. The warm-up is available here if you'd like to hit pause, or you can also access it on It's Learning. So please take a couple minutes to be able to get that down in your economics notebook. And this is something that we will have an opportunity to discuss in class, yes, but as a hybrid student, I think it's also important to be able to complete this just to be able to make sure that you have those notes that might come in handy for any type of open notes quiz or test that happens pretty regularly in my class. As a reminder, guys, last class you did an exit ticket for community, and so the questions are listed right down here. That's something that was over It's Learning. So if you did not do that, that was a formative grade for 10 points. So please make sure that you are going through the steps that are on this slide as far as logging into It's Learning, going to ECON, and checking out that assignment, which is called Exit Ticket for August 31st and September 1st. Again, that's worth 10 points as a formative grade, so please make sure to get it done. So, as I kind of explained already, guys, as a for pre-assessment, it's super important for me as a teacher. I need to know whether you're growing as a learner. So once we have that baseline as far as where you're at, then we're going to use this to be able to determine whether or not you're growing. So if you are, yeah, great, let's celebrate. But if you're not, let's come up with a game plan, right? Our goal in this class, as we're going to be going over in the syllabus, is that you can grow as a learner, learn a lot of key concepts, and become more literate as far as a lot of these economic concepts that are going to help you in the next stage of life. So it's super important that you're trying on these pre-assessments, these pre-tests, to be able to know, so I can know where you're at and as we are going, where you're headed. All right. Both of these assessments are going to be located on It's Learning. So there's one for literacy, for reading and writing, that's called Common Lit. So the directions, your class code is listed on It's Learning, depending on what period that you're in. And then Econ is also directly through It's Learning. So for both of those, just go to It's Learning. I imagine the Common Lit one is a little bit longer. It's probably going to be like maybe 40, 45 minutes. And then the Econ one, I would imagine, is maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30 tops. So it is going to take a little bit of time, but please make sure you're trying on those guys. Go ahead and pause and head on over to It's Learning. When you're done with those, you can go ahead and hit resume on this video. Okay, by now you have completed those pre-assessments. Thank you for doing that. We do have a syllabus in this class that is available on the overview page of It's Learning. So I will put a link to it not only on the overview page of It's Learning, the part of that that has my picture on it and some class announcements and reminders, but I will also put a link to it on today's page for It's Learning. So I'll have it in a couple places, right? But if you ever need to refer to this throughout the course of the year, you can always go to, I'm going to keep it on the front page of It's Learning because like it says on this slide, guys, this is like the holy text for this class. This says, what are the expectations? What's the grading scale? What is the vision that I have for this class? What materials and resources you need? What are the units going to be? What's the grading scale, etc., etc. So please make sure you're reading through this, and please make sure you're communicating to me over either email or It's Learning with any questions or concern that you have before, like it says here, you do need to acknowledge that you have received this syllabus on It's Learning. So that's essentially the exit ticket for today. So once you have gone through and acknowledged that you have received this syllabus, then you can go ahead and complete that exit ticket. And it's basically just where you write your name in the response that says that you've gotten the syllabus and that you agree to go forward with these as kind of like our holy text type document type stuff. So anyways, please read through it. One thing that I wanted to check in with you guys about is the expectations. So basically anything that's a school-wide expectation is always going to be an expectation in our class. And specifically in the era of COVID, I just wanted to reinforce the non-negotiable policies, which is to wear your mask, with the exception of when we are outside, at least 6 feet apart. Wash your hands whenever possible, social distancing at all times, and then personal responsibility. Remember, guys, that with you guys being the top dogs in the school, you've got a bunch of younger students that are looking up to you guys, and you guys are basically setting the example. So the more that you can model these elements of wearing your mask, washing your hands, and social distancing, the more that we as a school community are really going to thrive and flourish and just be okay with all this stuff. So it's really important that you guys are modeling that. Another thing I wanted to mention is the golden rule. We talked about that in a couple of the econ classes, but the golden rule is something that is super important in my view, where it's basically all about respect, right? Treat other people the way that you want to be treated. As long as we live by that, we're kind to each other, we work hard, I think that, things are going to be good and we're going to be happy. So that's basically the only rule that I have is the golden rule, with the exception of some of the different things that are school policies, right? The other thing, though, that is a school policy that I'm sure that you're aware of is plagiarism. So if you're caught using anybody else's material without permission, or you're claiming to be the author of a piece of work that's not yours, there will be consequences. So please make sure that you're turning in original work that is yours, that isn't somebody else's on the internet, that isn't your parents, that isn't your friends, or somebody that you know that you already took this class. Turn in your own work, right? And then behavior-wise, just any behavior that infringes on other students' ability to be successful in this class, we're going to crack down on. So make sure that we're living that golden rule in this class and we're working together as a community to be able to get the most out of this class. Okay? Again, as you have questions with the syllabus, not only this section, but any of the other sections, please make sure you're sending those questions to me before you acknowledge that you've received the syllabus and that you agree to it. Please make sure, again, that you're reading through that. So therefore, guys, I really don't have a lot of other stuff with the exception of this extension. So there is this thing called the NGPF Arcade, which NGPF stands for Next Gen Personal Finance. So I put a link to it on It's Learning for today on the page for Econ. So whenever we have stuff going on in class where you have like a project or test or quiz, or you have a little bit of extra time, you're always welcome to be able to go to this NGPF Arcade. It's got some pretty cool games on there that are all kind of related to personal finance, which is a big part of econ class. I know for some of you guys, you're also taking a personal finance class with Mrs. Tiles Fitzpatrick. And so that's really cool that you're going to get a kind of a double dose this semester about it, because I obviously think that it's super important. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for being a part of today's learning, for pre-assessment type stuff, for trying your hardest. Again, as long as you did try your hardest, as long as you did both of those pre-assessments, then you'll get full credit for today, even if you didn't get, questions right, etc., etc. So don't worry about that. And I thank you guys for your effort. Looking forward to seeing you again soon, and take care. Bye, guys.